Hi guys, hope you guys are doing good. We're back with another video, and basically today I'm going to be showing you an easier way to identify resets, right? An easier way to identify resets. But as always, I always want to start with understanding our higher time frame structures. So looking at AUD and ZD from the monthly time frame, it is very clear for you to see where price is coming from. The destination of price will be determined by where it's coming from. It will be easier for you to have an idea of where price might come to, and also have an idea of the reactions that you're looking for at those areas. So it's very easy to see that from this demand area. As you can see, this is a nice, a W formation that took long to play out. But what I love about this is we've got a nice price approach back down to that area. So by understanding your cycles, it is very easy for you to see that, okay, from this demand area we had to push up. Remember, this is the weekly, so we're just going to focus on the current price, right? But we need to understand what price is doing in the higher time frame. So it's very easier for you to see that what price did here. From this demand area, price broke structure. Like, these structures were taken out, but the important structure would be this one, right? As you can see, we're given a higher high, right? We're given a higher high. This is a higher high because, as you can see, price is in a rally phase, right? We're given a higher high, although that higher high reacted to a previous decision point, right? Previous decision point. But what I love about this is our price approach as we went down there. So this was a very interesting area. We call this a flag limit area, where we have multiple resistance on the left after structure has been broken. Alright, so this right here would be an interesting area, and our golden zone that we'll be interested in is this area. Right, we're going to look for a decision point within that. So let's look at it from our BTMM view, and this is what we're going to have. You can see a nice peak formation, a full, remember this is your weekly time frame, so you're at the first move, 1350 crossover, right? Structure was broken, and then this is our price approach, right? Now this price approach would make sense in the daily. If we go to the daily time frame, this is what we'd have, right? As you can see, so our reaction of price was right there. This is where we had a reaction of price. So this price approach, as you can see, was very clean. We had a nice 3D, right? We had a 3D down to that area, right? Which is very, very important. Right, remember, this would be our golden zone, since we're going to be looking for a decision point within the golden zone, right? We understand the higher time frame structures. We've got a higher high, so price has already shown you its long-term direction. If you look at your weekly time frame, you'd already start looking at these areas. This is a nice supply area. We can validate that by the reaction of this. You can look at that candle, which is a weekly candle, right? It reacted to this hidden base area right here. Right, so we know what's happening here. Now if you're going to look at it from your BTMM, let's go to the daily. We're looking at this area, right? So what do you have? You had a peak formation, right? When price reacted to the supply zone we're talking about, right? Now it makes sense. We had a peak formation, right? And if you count your levels well, you had peak formation. You've got the first drop. As you can see, this is just one level, right? That's just one level. You had the second level of drop. This is the first month, second month. So this was a 3-month cycle, right? So if you know what to look for, you definitely get some good trades here. Already I can see that after this 1350 crossover, right, you already know what's coming, right? I have uploaded a video on this, right? Go check it out. A very powerful trade there that played out. So cool. We had 3 levels, right, down to that flag limit area, right? We already understand that. We already got the price approach. So now we're going to move down to the 4-hour time frame. Remember, we always want to minimize our risk, but we have to understand our higher time frame structures. So by going to the 4-hour time frame, this is what we're going to see, right? This is where our level 3 ended, right? So what do we have? Something very interesting. Right here we had a peak formation, right? This is actually a reset, right? Why is this a reset? Look at this. Look at what we had from this area. Remember, this is just one level for us, but if you count it, you might be able to count level 1, level 2, and then the last level to this 800 EMA, right? Last level to that 800 EMA. So level 1, 2, this was actually another reset. And what do we have? level 1, level 2, level 3, 3 weeks of drop. Same thing again, 1, 2 levels, we had a reset. But what I love about this is after the 50 and 200 crossover, we had a nice pullback on the 200 EMA. So peak formations on the 200 EMA are very important, or have a high probability of playing out if you understand how to count your cycles and also understand where price is coming from and where price is heading to. So you can see that from this level, what do we have? We had a peak formation, reset, peak reset, first week of drop, second week of drop, right? A very good cycle, second week of drop, as you can see. And then after that, we had a very good looking third level, right? So something I'd like you to see is after this peak formation was locked, we've got a 1350 crossover, right? So this was our first pullback to the 50 EMA, a high probable trade, right? It's a high probable trade. We had another impulsive move, and the same thing happened again, a nice pullback to our 50, and we dropped. So just by looking at this, guys, I'm sure you can learn that trades at your 50 EMA after a peak formation has been locked have a higher probability of playing out, because trust me, I bet people sold here. You know, people thought, okay, this is the peak formation, let me sell. But then this happened, right? So you probably blew most accounts there. You know, people over leverage when they see such candles, right? So I'm sure you can see that. So what do we have now? We are in our third level. Let me just move this. We are in our third level, and we understand that right here is where the demand is. As you can see, price is reacting to that demand, which is actually our price approach 1, 2, 3 to that area. Now we understand that, oh, that's our peak formation. So it will become easier if you look at it from your BTMM view. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame now. Alright guys, so from the 1 hour time frame, as you can see, we've got a multi-session W formation, powerful stuff. If you look at your TDI, we've got some good divergence. The second leg was actually a market baseline bounce, right? We've got the first day of rise into a consolidation, locking the peak on the same day. This is the type of structures that you want to catch, right? These are the type of structures that you want to catch. Then from there, we've got the first pullback to the 50 EMA, as you can see. Then from that area, we had the second day of rise into a consolidation, right? Second day of rise into a consolidation. And then we had the third level, right? But what's interesting about this third level is market kept consolidating, right? If you look at it from the 4 hour, this is what you have. No impulsive moves, just price moving up. So for me, this is considered a third level for me, right? Because this is not any levels. This is price consolidating, right? This is price consolidating, but most people would be looking for peak formations around those areas, right? And a lot of money was lost there. But to keep it easier, if we look at it from our BTM, from our supply and demand, we'd be able to understand that this was a decision phase. This was a nice supply zone, right? And price then approached that supply zone, as you can see, slowly, right? Slowly approached that supply zone slowly, as you can see, right? So it's a very good thing for you to understand what happens at these decision points and at these supply zones, right? So if we go back, this is what we have, right? So by looking at the cycle already, you can count the first week of rise, second week of rise, and then there was some movement, but these are not long sustained moves, right? But as you can see, a nice peak at that 800 EMA. Right now, how do you then make it easier for you to get those resets? You need to understand the structure, right? As I was saying, as the price was moving up, although it reacted to our supply, what is the market structure? The market structure is to the upside. So this was a structure breaker. This was a structure breaker. It broke this previous structure, right? So price left a higher high there. Okay, so by understanding that, remember, you always need to see price approach, and as you can see, we've got a nice 3 drive down there, right, down to that area, right? If you look at all this, there was no price approach, guys. There was no price approach. So why would you be thinking of buying? Yes, you can get opportunities to buy there, but remember, you need to wait for those high probable trades. You can find opportunities there, but I don't think you want to risk your money like that, right? Because before you think of entering, you need to make sure that you understand the risk and the reward, and you need to ask yourself, is this worth it? Is this worth my money? Alright, so here's a nice structure, a nice 3 drive at a decision point. Just by understanding this, you already know I'm gonna get a move there, right? At a nice area, at a decision point type 1. There we go, decision point type 1 area, and that is where we then had our reset. Why am I calling it a reset? You can see it was actually a bounce at that 200 EMA, right? 200 EMA. So if we go to the 1 hour time frame, this is what you're going to find. Let me just zoom out. This is what you're going to find. When price had then given us that last level, right? If you look at your TI, you'll find that price, let's just zoom in before we had that. So you can see we had some divergence around this area, right? As price was moving down, we also had a nice market baseline bounce after that, right? And then price came to an extreme. This is an extreme, right? And that extreme was actually a reset, right? That was a peak reset. But what I love about this peak reset is we had price approach, right? That's one important, price approach to that area. Then from this area, this is when we then had our peak reset. And if you go to the 15 minutes, guys, 15 minutes, you can see a nice multi-session W formation, right? But the session timing was a bit off. Level 1 into a consolidation, a nice long sustained day of run. I love this, right? I love these types of trades. I don't like these types of trades, right? I want to enter a trade and I want to see a nice long sustained run, right? That was like 70 something pips. We had a nice pullback, but as you can see, this pullback also had approach 1 2 3. That was price approach at a nice area, right? As you can see, this was actually a flag limit area, multiple resistance, 2 is enough, right? And below that was our decision point, first leg, second leg, right? You enter somewhere there. It did delay to move. Remember, I'm looking for something like this. So these are the type of trades that I would scratch. You know, I'll just take my profit towards the end of the day, right? I'm looking to enter. As you can see, this took 3 days to take off. I'm looking to enter something that will do something like this. As you can see, this type of trade I will take, because towards the end of the day it had broken structure, so I would know I need some pulling back and I'll take my trades around that area, right? So powerful stuff, guys, powerful stuff. And as you can see in your 4-hour time frame, you'll be able to understand that, okay, I've got a peak reset, so now I need to restart it. Level 1 into a consolidation. Now we're going for that level 2, and definitely, as I said, you need to keep an eye on these areas. Price is almost there, and you can also watch these areas, but what's important is your market structure. All right guys, I hope you guys have learned something.